Hey guys, welcome back to Fantasy Tipped. Julian here for an episode during the Four Nations break. This one is something you can actually do during the Four Nations break is trade players. Which players should you be selling a high on and which players should you be buying low on at this point in the season? Did you guys catch the Canada versus Sweden game last night? Oh my goodness, was that ever a great hockey game? Sidney Crosby with 3 assists, absolutely on the edge of my seat the entire game. This tournament is going to be a lot of fun, and it's so cool that they announced that every 2 years following the Olympics, they're going to be doing a proper world tournament with at least 8 teams. That's absolutely awesome. I love seeing international hockey. Some of the best hockey moments have been international hockey moments, so it's great they're really bringing that back. And I'm so much looking forward to the rest of this tournament and the Olympics next year. Before we get started, guys, drop a like and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you do want to take your support to the next level, do consider hitting that join button down below right here on YouTube, or going on the link down below in the description to my Patreon, and there you can join and you get some perks like being able to DM with me one-on-one if you have any kind of fantasy hockey related questions, as well as being able to get early access videos. Let's jump into some sell high candidates. Which guys should you be selling right now? And first on the list, I have Dustin Wolf of the Calgary Flames. He's ranked 73-ish in most leagues. He has been absolutely phenomenal. And I do own him, and I don't think I'm going to sell him. It really depends on what you think you can get for him. If you're in a league where somebody is really highly valuing him right now, it might be worth selling him. Remember, guys, Calgary does have a really good playoff schedule if you are playing the later playoff date, which ends week 25. If that's the case, probably hang on to him. But again, he's a rookie goaltender is the reason that I have him on this list. So we don't know how or if he's going to be able to maintain the really stellar play that he has. He's starting just about every game in Calgary right now. And as long as he can keep his form, I have no issues with him rest of the season. The thing is, we don't know what he's going to be like the rest of the year. And he is a rookie. So you have to temper your expectations just a little bit. That being said, you can roll the dice and hope that he stays really great the whole year. I don't hate it. I would only sell him if you get a really good offer, or if you just don't need a goalie. You know, you've already got 2 or 3 great goalies, and he's kind of an extra for you. The next guy you can potentially sell high on is Mikael Granlund, and he has had an amazing year this year. He's up to 69% rostered and recently got traded to the Dallas Stars. Since arriving in Dallas, he's been getting decent deployment and has 4 points in 4 games. It's really not bad at all. That being said, with all the talent in Dallas, him not getting top power play time, he just isn't as valuable in Dallas as he was in San Jose. San Jose, he was pretty much the focus of the offense, whereas in Dallas, he's really just a side accent piece, if you will. He's someone that I don't hate, but he's someone that definitely can go super cold because his peripherals are not really that existent. So if he starts to really go cold, it's not going to be worth holding him on your roster, and he's going to become a drop. So if you can sell him right now, let's say you're missing a defenseman on your roster or you need a goalie and you can get something decent, I would absolutely do that because I don't trust Mikael Granlund to be great the whole year, especially now that there's just so much talent on the Dallas Stars. Next is Dmitry Voronkov of the Columbus Blue Jackets, playing top line and top power play on Columbus. Now, he's been really good second half of the season. He was playing mostly with Sean Monahan and Kirill Marchenko on that top line, but now those guys are both injured for a little while, and quite honestly, Voronkov overperformed a lot of this year. His shooting percentage is 19%, which is pretty freaking high, and his on-ice shooting percentage is 12.8%. A more normal on-ice shooting percentage is about 10%. So he's gotten pretty lucky, and his PDO also illustrates that, which is literally a measure of luck. If you're above 100, you're getting lucky, and he's well above 100 at 102.9. So he's someone that you could be selling a high on as well. Mark Scheifele is another prime example of a forward that you can sell high on right now. And I think it is a little bit of a travesty that he wasn't picked for Team Canada considering how good he's been doing this year, but he is primed to slow down a little bit. His shooting percentage is 25.2% this year, which is absolutely insane. He's been scoring on such a high percentage of his shots. Literally 1/4 of his shots have gone in the net this year. His career average is 17.3, so you can definitely expect that to drop down a little bit. And his on-ice shooting percentage is 15.4%. Now, the Jets have been great. There's no way in hell that he keeps a 15.4% on-ice shooting percentage the entire year. His career average is 11.9, which is honestly a very high career average, but 15.4 is significantly higher than that. And his PDO is really illustrating that he is getting lucky with 105.5. Remember, guys, he is a natural center, so people may not value him that high. But again, he's ranked 15 in most leagues, so you probably can get a really, really decent haul for Mark Scheifele, someone who's probably going to slow down a little bit these next couple months. Dylan Holloway is another player to be selling high on. His shooting percentage is 13.1. In his young career, his shooting percentage has historically been 11.3, but I mean, that's not overly crazy, 13.1 shooting percentage. His on-ice shooting percentage, though, is quite high at 12.3%. Now, St. Louis is giving this guy plenty of opportunities, but he's getting a little bit lucky with a PDO of 103.1. So do what you will with him, but I think he might be someone who drops off quite a bit the last couple months of the season. So if you can get a decent haul for him, I wouldn't mind selling him. Jumping into some buy low targets, and first on the list is Drew Doughty, and he has not been healthy this year. He finally came back from an injury, played only 6 games, and has only gotten 1 point. He's the perfect candidate to buy low on. People are starting to question whether he's the same player he used to be. Honestly, guys, no, he's not exactly the same player he used to be. He is aging, and he did just come off an injury. However, I do still think he's going to have a pretty solid second half of the year. He is playing for Team Canada, so he's getting plenty of ice time, and he should be really, really, really good to go by the time the Four Nations tournament is over. Despite only getting 1 point in 6 games, he has been getting top power play time, and his peripherals haven't been too bad. So the floor really isn't bad with Drew Doughty. He's someone that if you need a defenseman, you probably can get him for pretty cheap right now. The next guy to buy low on is Mika Zibanejad, and he's having a bad season. 33 points in 52 games. It's just not what you expect from Mika Zibanejad. His shooting percentage is 8.4, which is really low compared to his career average of 13%. His on-ice shooting percentage is 9.7, which is low. His New York Rangers average is 12.0 on-ice shooting percentage, and even if you include his Ottawa Senators time, his on-ice shooting percentage is 11.3. His bad luck is also illustrated by his PDO of 96.9, showing that he's been pretty unlucky this year. Now, his confidence could also get boosted by this tournament. If you saw him last night, he didn't look too bad in a Sweden jersey. If he starts, producing in a Sweden jersey, it might get his confidence back up, and he might start producing in a Rangers jersey. The next guy to buy low on is Kirill Kaprizov. Now, this is only a buy low if the person who has Kaprizov is struggling mightily to make the playoffs. If they're looking like they're not going to make the playoffs, Kaprizov being on the roster is completely useless because he's not coming back before the fantasy playoffs. But if you yourself have been watching my channel and you're looking like you're in a great place to make the playoffs, you're going to get a top 1, 2, 3, 4 finish in your league, you can afford to trade away a stud for Kirill Kaprizov. He is a top 10 player in the league this year and was a Hart Trophy favorite before going down with an injury. He's someone who could win your league, not only because he's so talented, but if you watch my schedule video, Minnesota has the best schedule in the fantasy playoffs if your fantasy playoffs are week 22 to 24. Trading for him is definitely something you want to consider if you are in a great position to make the playoffs, and the person who has him is not. Another buy low is Thomas Harley of the Dallas Stars. He's got some interesting stats. Because by current metrics, he's actually already quite lucky. He's got a 12.1 on-ice shooting percentage and 104 PDO, which is a little bit concerning. That being said, he should actually factor into some more goals now since he's on the power play one for at least a couple of months with Heiskanen out. He's my least favorite option on this list, but he is a solid buy low if you are in need for a D-man. I don't think he's being valued all that highly. Joel Eriksson Ek is someone you can buy low on as well. Had a nice goal last night when Canada faced Sweden, and 8.0 shooting percentage. Not very high right now. His career average isn't high either at 9.9, but it is lower than that. And his on-ice shooting percentage is only 10.8. The last 4 years he's been at 11.7. So yeah, his stats are a little bit low right now. Joel Eriksson Ek isn't a great hockey player. I like him a lot. He's great for peripherals. He usually hits quite a bit. And he's just kind of an all-around guy. Very safe floor usually, and scores points left and right usually. I'm expecting him to come out flying after the Four Nations break. Looked great for Team Sweden, and I think he's going to have a really solid second half of the year. He's an easy buy low right now because he's not being valued overly highly right now. Finally, Elias Pettersson. In 2021-2022, Elias Pettersson had a very similar season to this one. He was absolutely awful to start the year. Through his first 40 games until the end of January, he only had 20 points. Really not great. Only a point every 2 games there. He picked it up a little bit from there, but he really started to catch fire mid-February. In his final 31 games of the season, he had 41 points, which is well over a point per game, and he absolutely tore it up during the fantasy playoffs, which is what you like to see. If he can do something similar this year, starting to tear up the competition when he comes back from this Four Nations tournament, he could be a league winner, and honestly, this tournament could be the thing that lights a fire under his butt and makes him start playing better, because we know how good Elias Pettersson can be, and you could probably get him for pretty cheap right now because some owners are really frustrated with him. That's it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, drop a like and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next episode of Fantasy Tipped.